Hello, hello. It is time to make yet another foldable review. You are going to have a Chapter 7 test in Social Studies coming up very soon. And this one, you will not be using your notes packet or your book on. So I'm giving you lots of time to prepare. You won't have the test this week. It'll actually be next week. So we're going to create our study tool today. You've learned I don't keep secrets about what you need to know for your test. This foldable, tremendous help, along with that sheet protector, being able to identify the 13 colonies. So you should have in front of you those 2 sheets that you received to create your foldable. You need a pair of scissors and you need a pencil. So we're going to start off with the sheet that has a 1 through 8 on it. And you want to take this paper and you want to fold it hot dog with the words facing outward, like so. Before you make any cuts, please open it up, okay? So open it and then cut just on the dashed line to that center solid line. So you're only cutting half of this paper because you unfolded it, right? Careful because you can't uncut things. All right, and again, if I go too fast, the beauty is you can just press pause until you get caught up. Okay, so I'm just gonna do the 1. All right now we'll do the other one in a minute. But for now, let's get started. Okay, so for the first one, it says the way an area's goods and services are produced, bought, and sold. This is basically the money-making thing. Open it up. This is economy. Economy. The way an area's goods and services are produced, so how they're made, how they're bought, how they're sold. Right to number 2. The name given to the government and people of Great Britain, and it includes England, Scotland, and Wales. So which government includes Great Britain, England, Scotland, Wales? That would be the British. So when they're referring to British, that's who they're talking about. So open it up. British. I know I do feel a little bit of an accent coming on, but this is for the world to see, so I don't know. Okay, number 3. Government in which the power lies with the people. What kind of government is that? Democratic, you say? Well, you are correct. Open it up for number 3. Democratic. That's where we get a say. Okay. Number 4, the 3 large areas into which the 13 British colonies were divided. So remember, we have New England, we have Middle, we have Southern. Those are called colonial regions. So for number 4, open it up. Put my number 4, colonial regions. The 3 being the ones that are like the New England, the Middle, the Southern. Remember, you're going to have to know which is which. You're going to have to color one of those maps on your own when you take your test. Okay, number 5. Why was Massachusetts founded? So maybe you want to peek back at your notes packet and see if you can figure it out before. You could press pause right now. But why was it founded? It was founded basically because the Puritans wanted to freely practice their religion. So open it up. And be specific that it was the Puritans. Don't just make it freely practice religion, because on your test you're going to have to be specific. So Massachusetts was founded because the Puritans wanted to freely practice their religion. They couldn't where they were at, and they were very, very unkind to anyone who was different. So that's why Massachusetts was started. Okay, now for Rhode Island, it wasn't necessarily the Puritans. Remember, the people from Rhode Island were frustrated because it was all Puritan and they just wanted to be able to practice any religion. Okay, so for Rhode Island, why was it founded? This one is just open-ended, for religious freedom. Oops. Freedom to practice any religion, not just Puritan beliefs. Okay. Number 7, why did the British want New York? Why did the British want New York? Well, they wanted it so the English settlers could move westward. So number 7. So the English settlers could move westward. Okay, number 8. Why were the Quakers mistreated in England? So why were the Quakers mistreated in England? It's because their religious beliefs were different from most British people. So I'm gonna open this up, put in number 8. Their religious beliefs were different from most British people. Okay, so that's your first set. We now need to do our second set. Maybe your hand needs a break. You need a break. You can take one if you want. Just press pause. But I'm gonna grab my other sheet and I'm gonna go ahead and fold it hot dog. And then I'm gonna open it back up and make my cuts halfway through the paper. I'm not keeping my paper folded in half because then I'm gonna end up cutting everything apart and then it's not a foldable review anymore. So I'm cutting, I'm cutting, I'm cutting. Hopefully you're cutting, cutting, cutting. And if I go too fast, pause me. If I go too slow, I guess you could fast forward or just take a little break while you're waiting. I haven't had all my coffee yet, so I'm a little slower than normal. All right, time for our second half, starting with number 9. Which of the 13 colonies had mosquitoes that spread disease? There was one that we specifically mentioned, and that was Maryland. So we'll open it up, put a number 9. Maryland. Maryland. Okay. Why was Georgia founded? Georgia was founded, remember how the people that, if they owed a debt, they automatically went to prison? Georgia was founded so that those people didn't have to go to jail. So open it up, put a number 10. To provide a place for poor people, people that couldn't pay their debts, to avoid being jailed for their debts. DEBTS. I know that's weird, but that is debts. So they provided a place for poor people to avoid being jailed for their debts. So they escaped jail. All right, number 11. Now, for the rest of these, you're gonna tell me whether it's the middle, southern, or New England. And some of these are tricky because they might have some things that overlap, but you're looking for the region that has all of the things mentioned, not just some. So for number 11, it says, which colonial region had rich soil for raising wheat, available minerals, cold winters, and hot summers? So there were some that had rich soil, right? There are quite a few, but the raising wheat, that was specific, and the minerals meant that there was mining as one of the jobs, and that was only in the middle colonies. So open it up, and for number 11, you can just write the word middle. It means middle colonies. So it's either gonna be New England, middle, or southern for the rest of these. Okay, which colonial region had tobacco and rice grown on large plantations? Which had tobacco and rice? And remember, this is where the rice grew very well in the swamplands, and the swamplands were part of which one? If you said southern, you are right. So open up number 12, southern. I know there was tobacco in some other areas, but the rice was specific to southern. Okay, number 13. Which colonial region had rocky soil, plentiful forests, and easy access to the sea? Now, all of them are along the Atlantic coast, so a lot of them had easy access to the sea. But which one had rocky soil, plentiful forests, and easy access to the sea? That was New England. So open it up, Number 13, the New England Colonies. Okay, number 14, which colonial region had whaling as an available job? So if you go back through and look, there was only one area where whaling was listed as an available job, and that was in New England. So open up, number 14, New England. I know the last one was New England. So is this one, New England. Okay, in which colonial region was slave trade more common? So this was the one that had the mild winter climate, like warmer in the winter and in the summer. So there were a lot of plantations. This would be the southern colonies. So number 15, southern colonies, slave trade was more common. And again, we're gonna end up talking about that a lot in our next chapter. Number 16, which colonial region had mining as an available job? That was the one with the minerals. Minerals had to be mined, and that was the middle. So minerals, middle, they both start with M. Minerals, mining, middle. There you go, middle. Okay, so for your test that you're gonna take, not this week, but next week, you have just created 2 lovely foldables. You want to quiz yourself often with these, and you want to be practicing with that sheet protector, the salmon colored paper that I gave you. Make sure you can name the location of all 3 sections. You need to know all 13 colonies. I'm gonna have the list of names for you on the test, so with spelling you'll be able to look at it. Like, you don't have to remember how to spell Massachusetts, but you have to know where Massachusetts is, and I'll give you the word in a word bank. All right, thank you so much for working so hard. Your efforts are appreciated.